Okay, we're live. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Nerd Culture Clash.
Hello, everyone.
And I already lost my notes because somebody just walked in and interrupted me. I apologize for that. Anyway, welcome back to the show, guys. My name's Comic Book Bob. I'm joined by my co-host Tom, the Immortal One Cummings.
That'd be me.
And we're changing things up a little bit today. We're going with a new format. It's kind of an old format that Tom and I used to do. It's going to be a lot more focused. Just going to be a lot less rambling. Should be a little bit more easy to digest, and should be a lot more fun for everybody. So, apologize for the rough opening there, but how you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Just had a long weekend. I mean, literally a long weekend. I took yesterday off because I was at a roller derby event, and worked. God, how many? Just 8 games on Sunday. Like 12, 10 or 12. Can't remember how many on Saturday. It was a lot. Now that it's over, it was fun. It was kind of stressful trying to get herding cats, getting everybody in the right positions on time and doing their jobs. But
Yep.
worked out pretty good.
Cool.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't do much of anything. I just worked over the whole weekend. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, we're gonna do the format a little bit differently. It's gonna be a lot less rambling. We're gonna be a lot more focused, and should be, like I said, it should be a lot easier for everybody to keep up, and there should be a lot less dead air. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and just get right into it. And but before we do, if you could please hit like, hit subscribe, share the video out. It helps, on your social media. It helps our little channel grow, and helps us get better, and helps us just keep this thing going. So, okay, so right off the top, the first story that real quick, before we get into anything, I gotta show you. I gotta show you this video. It's okay. So the quality on this thing kind of sucks. But somebody sent this to me. I think it was Andrew Huerta sent this to me, and it was freaking hilarious. All right, you guys got to see this. Check this out. This is awesome, and it's in Spanish, so I can understand a word of it. This restaurant they made this, dude. This is freaking hilarious. This is awesome. Freaking Thanos dancing.
Oh,
Oh my god, this is genius, man.
just figured too small to sue.
Oh my god, man. This is like these friggin' Thanos twerking, man. That makes that friggin' video. Alright, anyway, I had to show that. Alright, so let's get I'm sorry. That's our one and only, well, it probably won't be the only one, but that's we'll try to keep the tangents to a minimum, but I had to show you that, dude. Someone dropped that and I was like, that is one of the funniest things I've seen all day. Okay. So, William Shatner on R-rated Quentin Tarantino Star Trek. You have to harness the energy of Gene Roddenberry revolving in his grave. So, if you've been keeping up on social media the last couple of years, William Shatner has been a freaking godsend. He's just been, he's just this dude. He's just this guy, this cultural icon who just does not give a crap. And there's been rumblings about Quentin Tarantino saying he wanted to do a Star Trek movie, and that it would be R-rated. And some people have shown some interest, and Hollywood has shown some interest as well. And now William Shatner has waited on it, and he's basically going hard in the paint with his disdain for it. So let's read this a little bit. Star Trek TOS actor William Shatner, TOS means the original series, by the way, who played Captain James T. Kirk, reacted to the idea of an R-rated Star Trek film from Quentin Tarantino. Shatner did an interview with People to promote his History Channel show, which I actually watched that Unexplained. That was actually kind of cool. When I was at the gym, they had the episode on about the cryptoids. Thank you. I got I got mush mouth today. But anyways, he revealed that an R-rated Star Trek film would have to harness the energy of Gene Roddenberry revolving his screen. Shatner added, "If you could harness that, you could use that as the power for the whole film." I believe Shatner is on point with that comment. If anyone knows Gene Roddenberry and how he treated Star Trek, they know that the very idea of an R-rated version of the Star Trek film would be unsettling to him. As for whether or not Shatner would reprise his role as Captain America in Tarantino's Star Trek, Shatner stated, "If Quentin Tarantino said to me, 'Will you play Captain Kirk in this film?' Leonard Nimoy played Spock in one of J.J. Abrams' films. I said to him, they went back in time to see him. I said, 'Leonard, when you go back in time and you're still old, Leonard, that's really old.'" Oh my god, I love that dude. Trek Movie reports Shatner would elaborate on the answer and describe that he believes Tarantino's version of Captain Kirk would be running wild. He'd be running wild, and I'm having difficulty running wild now. Wild is a great way to describe Kirk. The classic Captain's adventures on both film and television were definitely wild, especially when you compare Kirk to the stoic Picard or the cunning Sisko. Wild would be a great way to put it. Yeah, I would call it being propelled through space by his libido. Yeah. Did you ever see that book? I've got it's right here. I've actually got it. Dang it! I should turn my camera on to see it, but I'm just gonna read it. Okay, there's a book. It's called Shatner Quake. It's by a guy named Jeff Burke. It's one of those like fan novel things. Yeah. It's from Bizarro. It's from Bizarro Books. BizarroCentral.com. Basically, it's all the different versions of William Shatner. Come into this universe to kill William Shatner.
So, was it T.J. Hooker?
T.J. Hooker, and then like Shatner from Empire of the Spiders and Captain Kirk. Yep, all of them. Every the Shatner on the plane in Twilight Zone. But then there was also another one that did where.
Wait. Does even the Shatner from Saturday Night Live show up?
I don't know, dude. I can't remember. But then they also did another book where all of Kirk's illegitimate children came looking for him. So he had like 1,000 kids. So, anyway, let's go back to this. Shatner would then confirm he would be interested in reprising his role, but it might cause him to have a heart attack. Oh goodness, yes, running wild through the fields of hay, running, and then having a heart attack and falling down. As of right now, it seems that the Quentin Tarantino Star Trek is far more likely to be the next installment of the franchise. Both Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth repeatedly exited the project due to salary negotiations and creative conflict. Do you agree with William Shatner on Gene Roddenberry's reaction? Yes, I do actually. Roddenberry always wanted Star Trek to be for everybody, and that included the young people. He wanted it to reach everybody, and if it's an R-rated film, yeah, especially a Quentin Tarantino R-rated film, yeah, you're only going to be reaching adults. So, or would the creator be open to a Tarantino R-rated Star Trek film? I don't think so. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. What do you think, Tom?
No, I agree with you completely. Yeah, Star Trek, R-rated Star Trek, as interesting as it might be, really just goes so across the grain of the original concept and what the creator wanted. So yeah, I gotta go with a big no on that one.
Yeah, I think and that was one of the things that he always expressed, was that Star Trek was supposed to be for everybody of all ages, all races, colors, creeds, all that whole thing. So you do this, you're kind of putting it into a niche, although I have to admit I am intrigued by the idea of a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek movie.
I really gotta say I'm not. I mean, I could see if you really wanted to do I don't want to say a good version, but a realistic version of like the 4 Years War or something like that. It's a bit of a cop-out, but it would kind of be easier to make an R-rated version of that because of the violent content of war. So you could have an R-rated Star Trek from that point
I just want to see Samuel L. Jackson in a Star Trek uniform talking crap.
Dropping a couple of bombs.
Oh yeah, dude. He's like, I'm tired of these mother effing Klingons on this mother effing starship. Anyway, okay, so moving on. Let me make sure that everything's showing up here right. Okay, so.
Oh, and check your levels. You seem to have gotten quite quiet.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a second here. All right. Well, no, my mic is maxed out here. Let me turn the volume up a little bit.
Well, you sounded a little better right then. I don't know if you're like further away from your mic or what. But...
Yeah, let me bring my mic up.
This is better. It's already better where you are right now.
All right, let me bring my mic up closer then, because that's what it is.
Okay.
Okay. And oh geez, that's not gonna work. All right, let's try that. Okay, is that better?
Much better. Yes.
All right, let me turn it down just a tad. Is that still okay?
Yeah, you're still good.
All right. Okay, so Marvel Comics writer Mark Waid accused of calling black YouTuber just some guy a borderline white supremacist. All right, so Tom, you don't know much about this because you're not involved in like this community and the little circle I move in. And for people who are watching this who don't know, Mark Waid has been the center of a lot of controversy the last couple of years. He's involved in a defamation lawsuit right now. There's been multiple incidents where he basically, I would call it classic. Deflection of his own issues, of his own personal demons onto other people. He's been known to attack, literally verbally attack people. There's an incident where he attacked an Arab guy, an Arab vendor at a con, using a lot of racial slur, like using a racial slur on him. A lot of stuff. The things that Mark accuses people of, Mark has a tendency to himself be guilty of. Yeah. He's a classic deflector. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And this lately, right now, like I said, he's embroiled in a major lawsuit with YouTuber Richard C. Meyer, who goes by who used to go by the name Diversity in Comics. He changed it to Comics Matters, which I don't know why he did that because that's a terrible name. But yeah, so Mark's been kind of a lightning rod for a lot of crap, and this is just the latest in a long line of gaffes for Waid, which is unfortunate because Waid actually, some of the stuff that he's written in the past is some of my favorite stuff. So the guy is talented. He's just also completely batshit. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. Marvel Comics writer Mark Waid has been accused of calling black YouTubers just some guy a borderline white supremacist. YouTuber just some guy criticized Mark Waid, Kwanzaa Ozai. I'm sorry, I butchered that to death. And artist Felipe Briones, probably destroyed that too. Ignited series from publisher Humanoids in a video titled Ignited, the Far Left Turner Diaries. Now, I've read the first issue of Ignited. I don't know who thought that would be a good idea for a comic book. This is... we're gonna go over what this comic is, and you're literally gonna be like, how the hell did anybody think that was a good idea? His video would feature a thumbnail showcasing altered text blocks from the original comic. We'll go ahead and go down here. Waid would respond to the video and thumbnail on the video, and he would say, "Hey, do me a favor and circulate some sick borderline white supremacist nut are circulating faked artwork from a comic I'm writing with Kwanzaa called Ignited to use as evidence that we're using our book as pro-violence propaganda." Okay, that's not what he was doing. Here's the idea behind this book. All right. We're proud of Ignited. It's about newly empowered school shooting victims who are pushing back against gun violence in all its forms. Basically, it's about the victims of school shootings who somehow they specifically get superpowers, and they use it to fight back against what they consider to be fascists. against against gun rights activists and all that kind of stuff. So this is the original panel right here. They're forming tribes. It's one thing to push back against authority figures. Are Shy and Callan ready to fight their friends? This is the actual comic. And just to be, and he basically he was taking a piss, is what he was doing. He changed the text to "Am I a fascist? I mean, I don't feel like a fascist. I just want to use power to control people." And that's basically what. Obviously he's like I said, he's being cheeky here, but literally in the book, they use violence. It's basically Antifa. They use violence against these people who are protesting. They're protesting their right to have guns and stuff like that. Which, that's an argument for a different platform and another time. But let me put it this way: the comic's just written bad. It's just bad. The artwork's not bad. I mean, the artwork's okay. But for one thing, he didn't alter the artwork. He altered the text, and he obviously did it. If you watch the video, he's obviously being coy. You know what I mean? He's obviously being cheeky. He's not saying that this is actually what it says. He's just he's being a provocateur basically. So then Mark Waid came out and said all this stuff about him being a borderline white supremacist. Well, here's the thing about just some guy. He's a black dude. So then just some guy responded to Waid by saying, the accusation in the YouTube where he requested Mark Waid issue an apology. He said, since I know you watch my videos, here's what I'll do for you. You can post an apology retracting your quote, borderline white supremacist line, and don't worry about having to figure out what to say. You could just post this. I apologize for calling the creator of the meme, who is black, a borderline white supremacist. My intention was to vent my anger, and in my petulance, I made a racially insensitive accusation. I apologize. Now, Wade's not going to do that.
Yeah, he really doesn't sound like the kind of person that's...
No. I mean, this is the guy who... we became partners in a comic book store with a guy. The guy, Waid basically screwed the guy out of his share of the store. Literally, there's a 911 call that the guy put in where Waid was literally tearing the store apart. Like this dude is like the poster child for bipolar.
Got some issues, does he?
Yeah, and the same guy basically got screwed out of his business that Waid later gave the business to his wife and then divorced his wife, so she got the store. That guy later died. I believe he died of cancer, and so him and his wife, they got basically cheated out of everything that they had. Mm-hmm. And Waid is he's just, if you listen to him talk for 10 minutes, I don't say this about a lot of people. This dude's freaking crazy. He's literally batshit crazy. Just some guy goes on to note that he did not change Phil Brona's artwork as White Clays. He goes on to state, anyone who watches my video would know that if the text appeared in the comic, I would have said so. It's obviously fake and clearly satirical. It's a joke and a damn good one since no one has to explain it. Even your supporters got it. That's a good point. Besides, I don't need to doctor the pages that you and Fake Holiday wrote. A pro-violence propaganda tool, which it is. If you read this thing, like I said, man, I'll have to dig it out. I can't remember what I did with it. I threw it in the corner somewhere after I got done reading it. This thing, it reads like an Antifa pamphlet. It really does. But just some guy would not only address Waid on YouTube, took to Twitter to allow his followers to spread the United meme. Now, I don't know if I would have been on board with. He basically invited everybody else to do the same thing. I'm not a provocateur. Like I said, I'm not one of those guys that goes out looking for trouble. I mean, I'll deal with it if it comes along. But I mean, when I read it, I thought it was funny. So I mean, and I knew it wasn't real. I mean, I knew it wasn't the real thing. I mean, even before I read the friggin' book, I knew it wasn't the real thing. But yeah, I mean, with a lawsuit that's coming, that's in the courts right now, and more and more stuff coming forward about Waid, man. This guy's heading for a serious friggin'
Meltdown,
oh yeah,
crash,
oh yeah,
breakdown.
yeah. He's heading for a hardcore friggin' crash, man. Um, but yeah, I saw this and I'm like, geez, dude, you got to be kidding me. You're and his friggin' his lawyer, that guy is just that guy is clown shoes, man. I'm serious. You look at the stuff that guy says, and it's just like, how are you a lawyer? You can't possibly be that stupid. I think what he's doing though, I think his lawyer might actually be smarter than people give him credit for. I think he's saying a lot of these inflammatory things and these just things that are just flat out stupid because he wants people to respond to it. Because I think he's trying to build a case for harassment. So when he put
Yeah, it could be.
so when he puts out these ridiculous things, and obviously people are gonna tweet, they're gonna clap back at him. I think he's trying to get some dirt and some things to catalog so he can throw that out when he goes to court. But that's again one of those. It's one of those things where like what, I'll talk about it, I'll look at it, but I'm not going to be involved in it because, like I said, I'm not going to give firepower to this guy's lawyer because I want this guy to get slam dunked.
Yeah, harassment's kind of a hard thing to claim when people are responding to things that you're saying.
To your harassment. Like this is
Yeah.
this is the kind of crazy that this guy does. He goes. Richard Meyer was putting out a comic book. He doesn't like Richard Meyer because he doesn't like his politics, which it's whatever, man. Everybody's gonna have opinions, but this guy basically uses his clout in the industry to intimidate Antarctic Press to the point where Dunn was so freaking stressed out by it, he was literally in tears almost. He was almost in tears, and
Well, now you've said that, I can say I really don't like this guy.
yeah, and Dunn backed out of the deal to publish the Jawbreakers comic book. Later on, Meyer basically brought his case to and basically sued Waid for harassment and for tortious interference. And then Waid starts sending tweets to Dunn saying, "Hey, hey, we're good, right? I hear that they're saying that I bullied you. Like, I didn't do that, right? And he
Yeah,
just
you did.
and he's like, you could tell, like, we're cool, right? He's going, and eventually it got to, please tell me we're cool. Please tell me that we're okay. Like, tell me. All you have to do is just say it. Just like say it, and I'll leave you, and I'll go away. Like literally, that's what the guy's social media tweets that he sent to Dunn was saying. It's like, please just say it. Like he just wanted him to put it there so that he wouldn't get busted for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of guy that's the kind of guy that we're dealing with right here. And like like I have whether you have problems with Richard Meyer or not, and I don't agree with the guy on everything he says. I mean, some of the things he says are correct. Some of the things I think he says is he's off base on. But you don't have the right to interfere in somebody's life like that. You definitely don't have the right to go to a third party publisher and harass them and use scare texts on them to make them think that if they publish this guy's book, that they're going to be attacked. And that's what this guy did. So, and like I said, this thing right here, this whole thing with calling just some guy a borderline white supremacist, this is just the latest in a long line of gaffes for this idiot. So, and I don't like feeling like that about people. I don't like, I'm not one of those people that likes to take shots at people like that. But somebody needs to do something about this guy. This guy is like a friggin' bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, like you just said, man, anybody who could do that to like Ben Dunn is a friggin' lunatic. Because Ben Dunn's like one of the nicest people in the world.
Yeah. Until you said the thing about Antarctic Press and Ben Dunn, I was kind of like, yeah, he's a jerk. And I'm like, yeah, he's an asshole. He's just being, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, if you read some of the stuff he says, it's insane. But okay, moving on. to something a little more, less depressing. Well, okay, maybe not. Um, Disney's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge employees see hours cut as attendance doesn't meet Disney's expectations. Who? What? Who'd have thunk it? Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. A new report indicates Disney is cutting employee hours for their new feature attraction at Disneyland, Star Wars Galaxy Edge. A source alleged to be an employee at Disney told Fox Business wait times this summer for the new Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Ride were expected to be over 2 hours long all summer, but in reality, the lines have been averaging half of that or less. RT Bear's, I think it was his daughter, just did a video today where she was talking about they went there and she's like the place was like empty. She said that when they first got on the Millennium Falcon ride, they only had to wait an hour, and then the second time they only had to wait like 40 minutes. And the thing is the ride itself is like 10 or 15 minutes long. So that means that there was only 4 or 5 groups ahead of them. That's my understanding, because it's basically like a simulator. Like it's a yeah. Everybody's different. Like there's like 4 or 5 people at a time that are flying the Millennium Falcon. And they're doing like shooting the guns and stuff like that. So that means that there's not that many people waiting in line for this thing. As a result, the company's been forced to cut our hours. The need for us to work simply isn't there. They continued, our hours have been cut to as low as 30 to 35 hours per week. Even though we have both worked for the park for years, it makes life challenging when your paychecks get cut unexpectedly. The alleged employee also pointed that they believe the problem is that Galaxy's Edge only has one cool feature. I feel the problem is Star Wars took too long to build. So they rushed the opening with only one cool feature. I agree with that. And we've talked about some of the things that we thought that they should do to make it better. The only other big ride isn't even scheduled to open until the end of the year. Part of the problem, too, has been the hype surrounding all the new Star Wars land. Tourists fear the anticipated crowds, and the Los Angeles locals seem to be waiting out the summer crowds, too. Admission to the park is not cheap either. It is $149 for one park or $199 during peak summer weekends for a park per person.
Nope.
Yep, that's what I said, dude. I was like, nope. This anonymous source speculated on why Galaxy's Edge attendance is low, is suspiciously similar to Disney CEO Bob Iger and Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer Christine McCarthy's explanations during their Quarter 3 2019 earnings call. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. Yeah, this thing's got problems. But the biggest thing that everybody's been pointing to is that none of the classic characters are there. Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, 3PO, R2, none of them are there. The only character that Art's daughter said she said that she saw Boba Fett for a second, but the other thing too, she said, is there's not very many cast members out there either. She said the whole time they're there, she saw 4 stormtroopers, and that's it. To make matters worse, Disney also admitted in their Quarter 3 2019 earnings report that Star Wars merchandise sales have declined. That's the other thing. She said that if you go into the stores, all the stuff that's in there is all the sequel stuff. There's none of the original trilogy. There's none of the prequel stuff. They're not pushing the stuff that they want to push. And not only that, but there was a report by I can't remember his name now, and I'm
pushing the stuff that they want to push, but not the stuff that
people want
to buy.
Right. And there's actually I think it was is it Walmart stores? I think Walmart stores are taking the entire Star Wars section of their toy sections out. They're literally taking them out there because they can't sell the stuff. So there are rumors from, I understand though, that they are basically retooling all of this. I know that at the second park, when it goes live, from what I understand, they've already got plans in place to, because at the beginning of the ride, Kylo Ren greets everybody with like a troop of stormtroopers, the First Order troopers.
Yeah.
They changed it to Darth Vader. So they're already starting to retool and change these things. So they're gonna have to, because it's just not gonna bring people in. You know, it's just too divided. And not only that, but when I go to a friggin' if I go on a Millennium Falcon ride, I want Han Solo to be there. You know, it
Yeah.
the Millennium Falcon and Han
Chewbacca.
Solo. Yeah, or Chewbacca. Yeah, I'm like, come on, man. Like that's a no brainer. But yeah, they did not put. Well, there's a whole bunch of different rumors. I should say I shouldn't say they didn't put any thought into this. There's another rumor that uh, even though Lucas sold the rights to Star Wars, he sold it to Disney. He still has like a 25% uh, interest in it. Like he still owns like 25% of it. He sold them the majority rights to it,
Yeah.
but he still owns a big chunk of it, of all the stuff that already came, which is the reason why they said that
That's why Disney wants to only push the new stuff.
right, because they don't have to pay him a cut of it. That's all. And also there's a report, which you can take this with a grain of salt because this might be true or not, that when Ryan Johnson was brought in, he was literally told, okay, we want you to do something that does not involve any of these characters whatsoever, which was one of the reasons why there was next to nothing with the original characters in the original trilogy in the Last Jedi. Like that, like their entire business idea was to limit how much they had to give Lucas as much as possible. Now, I would take that with a grain of salt because Disney has shown that they are willing to pay people big bucks as long as they make bigger bucks. Okay, a case in point would be the deal with Sony and Spider Man. So I don't know how much validity I put on that, but I would not be surprised if that wasn't at least something in the back of their minds.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, man, at some point they're going to have to just own up and just say, yeah, what we're doing is not working,
Yeah.
and admit because
Or not.
yeah, because originally they just flat out denied that any of this, like, oh no, Star Wars is fine, Star Wars is great, blah 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 blah, and now you've got legitimate organizations, and not just fans and fan pundits and people on friggin'
Now
YouTube
your
talking.
own employees are like, holy crap, this sucks.
Well, not only that, but your friggin' CEO is saying it. Your CEO is out here going, yeah, this isn't working. We screwed up. So now, obviously, they're trying to deflect, but I mean, when you've got organizations like that talking about it, you can't deny the truth. And the truth is, it sucks. it's so, but yeah, so there's more Star Wars crap. But go ahead.
On a up Star Wars note, last week for the game Armada, the Super Star Destroyer came out. Man, that thing is sweet. Just saying.
Oh, the model.
Well, not the model for the. Well, yeah, the model, but for the game Armada. So it's pre-assembled, pre-painted. But yeah, the thing's like, I don't know, at least 2 feet long.
That's
It's
cool.
freaking huge. It's
That
one of those models where you're playing a game and it's too big to fit in your deployment area.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I remember.
So
Oh, that was another thing I saw. That there's a new ship coming out for that. It's like this big hammerhead Star Destroyer looking thing, and they were saying that ship is actually from the new movie, and it's like you remember the Eclipse class Star Destroyer from the expanded universe that had had a smaller version of the Death Star laser running down the middle of it.
vaguely,
Okay.
I remember the premise of it. So
Okay. Um, that ship. The rumor is um, that ship is going to be in the new movie, and that
well, that'll be kind of weird because that'll be their first new thing in the game.
yeah.
So far, the game has all been classic.
Let me
Has none of the first order stuff or anything like that. It's
let me
all
see. News.
hasn't even gone back to like the Clone Wars or anything like that. It's all been classic Star Wars stuff.
Let me see if I can find it. Skywalker. see here. Images. New Star Destroyer, Rise of Skywalker. Dang it. I'm going to have to. There it is. Here, open image in new tab. Oh, well, great. That sucks.
Hey, gotta find it.
Okay, hang on.
Oh, that thing right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That.
Let me see here. It looks like that's the game, right?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, it's got the little shield wheel kind of things on the side. And I suppose that the extra green thing there in the front is
The arc of the weapon, or
the arc, yeah, the firing arc for that weapon.
yeah, because this image came out and they're like, this thing doesn't exist in anything from the original trilogy or the prequels. So
Yeah, because like I said, they haven't even done the prequels yet. So yeah, we'll see.
yeah, but yeah, I'm hoping that that's not true because the story behind this ship is really stupid. It's like that the gun in the middle of it is literally the gun from the original Death Star, which
It's one of the rays that then all goes into one.
yeah, whatever. But anyway, enough of that. On to the next story, and this is actually something cool. Machete actor Danny Trejo saves trapped child in overturned call. That's freaking cool, man.
Yep, awesome.
Okay, I'll tell you. I don't know if you are, Tom, but I'm a big fan of Danny Trejo's.
I'm not a huge fan, but yeah, I like him. He's really cool.
Like he was in a movie. He was in a movie called Badass, where he's playing a dude who's his age. Like he's in his 60s, I think.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
But it was
But
it's
he's a badass.
dude. Yeah. So, but anyway, let's talk about it. Machete actor Danny Trejo is normally accustomed to playing villains on the big screen. Shut off his hero side when he saved a special needs child who was trapped inside an overturned car. I'm not going to watch the video because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But according to ABC7, Trejo helped rescue. Okay, somebody needs to edit this crap. Trejo helped rescue the child after two vehicles collided in the intersection of Hubbard Street and Jackson Avenue in the Silmar. I'm sorry, I butchered that. Neighborhood of Los Angeles. As you can see in the video above, an SUV is T-boned while crossing the intersection. Ooh. After being struck, the vehicle flips onto its roof. Trejo then quickly responds to the accident and helps rescue a 3-year-old special needs child in the back seat. Trejo wasn't alone. He received help from another bystander who helped him rescue the young boy. Trejo crawled into the wreckage but was unable to get the boy out of his car seat since he could not reach the seat buckle. Unfortunately, the other bystander, Monica Jackson, came in from the other side and was able to unlock it with the other seatbelt unlocked. Trejo was able to rescue the young boy from the vehicle. After rescuing the child from the vehicle, Trejo recounted how he distracted him while firefighters worked to rescue his grandmother from the vehicle. Trejo recounted, "I'm holding him like this, and I'm just started talking about what's a minute. We got, wait a minute, we got to use our superheroes," and he goes, superpowers. That's cute.
Now, the coolest thing about this whole story is if you could be, what was her name? Monica Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were like,
I hope.
God, I hope Danny Trejo.
I hope Danny Trejo. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, aren't you Machete? Trejo thanked God for putting him in that spot to save the young boy. I just feel grateful that the Lord put me there right at that spot to do what I did. That's all. ABC7's Veronica Miracle. That's an awesome name. Would also release a video where Trejo states, "Everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. Everything." Not only is Danny Trejo one of the nicest actors, he's also a hero. That's really cool, dude.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That is freaking cool. Like I said, I really like Danny Trejo. Like I've seen interviews with him and stuff. Like he's one of those guys I'd love to meet. Like I wish he would come to a convention near me so I could go see him.
Yeah.
But everything that I've heard about him and everything I always see about him, he just seems like such a real guy, you know.
That's kind of like I'm remembering. There was some show, they did like guerrilla filming of stuff just on the street, and one of the things was one of them was dressed like an old lady, and somebody was like snatching her purse or something.
Yeah.
And then Kiefer Sutherland like pulls his car over and like gets out to like help her. They're like, oh no no dude, yeah we're yeah look it's cool it's cool.
Dude, that's like was it recently I think it was Keanu Reeves. Like there was some people that were broke down on the side of the road or something. He picked them all up in his car, drove them to where they and bought them all brought them all lunch or dinner or something.
Very nice of
I
him.
mean, that's just kind of stuff he does that kind of stuff all the time. Like some of them, and there was always there was one where one story where uh, what's his name? Tom Cruise helped change this lady's tire in the middle of rush hour traffic, which that's taking your life in your own hands in L.A., man. it's but no, it's just it's cool seeing that some of these are like you forget that these are real people sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean kudos to him. I mean
Yep,
he was already considered him an awesome guy, and thank you for confirming that.
yep. Um,
So sweet.
hang on, let me see here. Save. Okay, so on to the next thing. I don't know if you've. Oh crap! I just closed it because I double clicked because I'm an idiot. It's okay. I've got the link
Oh, the
for it.
boys.
Yeah, the boys. I got the link for it, so it's not a big deal. Well, let me get the links. The boys. Here we go. That's what happens when you get older and you start accidentally double clicking on stuff.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about.
The boys showrunners tweet teasing first photo from Amazon Prime season 2. So this thing just came out, and it's such a big hit that they knew it was going to be such a big hit that they already started on season 2. Like season 2 is already in the middle of filming. So have you ever did you ever read The Boys?
No, I didn't.
Me and Nate did. It's a really good story. It's basically, how there's always those stories about what would happen if Superman went
Yeah.
bad or if Batman went bad. This is basically what would happen if the entire freaking Justice League went bad.
It
And
was just never good in the first place.
yeah, which is and it's like these characters it's kind of a very real world take on it. They're superheroes, but one of the things about them is that they don't have any training. They just have power. So they screw up all the time, and people get hurt. Like this dude, one of the main characters. Spoiler alert. Well, minor spoiler alert. He kills the dude's fiance, and like literally, she was like getting ready. She took like half a step into the street, and this dude hits her at super speed and explodes her. All right, I'm talking from the comic here. I haven't actually seen the series yet, so because it's in my thing to watch, but and then he's just like, oh sorry, and then he just takes off, and then later on they're like, well, a tragic accident. He's like, she was in the middle of the street and I couldn't avoid her, and it's like, dude's like, dude, she just took half a step. It's like so they have like this PR office. It's really cool. But like the main character, the Homelander, this guy right here, whose head's chopped off at the top here. He's basically the evil Superman, and he's like they these most of them are just incompetent. He's straight up evil. But it's a really great book. Everybody tells me that the show's awesome. As soon as I get to the point where I can actually watch it, I'm gonna binge watch the whole thing.
Okay.
But yeah. So the showrunners for Amazon Prime's video breakout hit. The Boys have released a teaser photo for its upcoming season 2 on Twitter. The photo features showrunner Eric Kripke in the middle, surrounded by Kimiko, Frenchie, Hugh, and Mother's Mill. All are covered in blood and giving an obscene gesture to the camera. Let's go ahead down here. Like there it is, right there. A small token for the Boys TV fans. World's first pick of season 2. As you can see, we're up to our old tricks. If you haven't join us streaming now on Prime Video. And yeah, it's like I like the friggin' graphic novel so much that I really want to watch the show. But I think it's really cool. Like like they're already pushing out season 2. So and then it
Pretty
and
consistent.
yeah, and there's also like a bunch of like a lot of it's got such a great cast too, man. It's got Carl Urban, Simon Pegg is a guest star. He plays the character Huey's father. Uh, Huey's kind of like the pseudo main character. Um, Abe Sapien. Hey, what's up, Abe? Yeah, I said, man, I'm gonna tell you what. Everyone and their mother is streaming right now, dude. I'm amazed that anybody came in here at all. I appreciate it, brother. You got what Art's streaming, Ethan's streaming, Mecha Random is streaming. All these, yeah, it's like if we get 2 people, I'll be amazed. But yeah, it's if you haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend it, Tom. Um, yeah,
Like I said, I've heard good things about it. So
yeah. At least read the graphic novel. I think Nate's got him. Ask and see if you can borrow them from him because it
yeah,
was.
tomorrow.
I mean, I'll tell you what, man. I'm amazed that they made this show because, dude, it is brutal. I mean, it is hard. Free. It's one of, if not the most hardcore graphic novel I've ever read. Got to support good content. Well, we're trying to do better, man. Like I said, we're trying to do a lot more focused and really um, and here I just went completely off the
Stay on
rails.
point.
Yes, stay on target. Stay on target.
Target.
They came from behind. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, definitely check it out. Okay, so real quick, Tom knows this. A couple other people that watch know this, but I'm a big MMA fan. And over the weekend, UFC had Fight Night 156, and there were a couple of good fights on there. The main event was kind of a snore fest. Valina, I always butcher her name, Sharapova. Anyway, that fight was an okay fight. I mean, it just wasn't very exciting. But ain't nobody gonna be talking about that. Everybody's gonna be talking about the fight between Mike Perry and Vincent Lucia. I know I'm butchering his name. I apologize. Okay, so basically, this was a really good fight. I mean, these guys were teeing off on each other. But then, about halfway through the fight, actually at the end of round 3, this happened. And to give you a better idea of it, and by the way, I apologize because I'm about to show something very graphic. If you have problems with blood or anything, you might want to turn away. That happened. And yeah, basically he caught a knee right to the dome, and this is what it did to his nose. It took his nose and it made a Z out of it.
Yep.
Okay, this thing was literally gushing blood. I mean, this was one of the gross. This was one of the hardest. This was one of the worst injuries in the ring I've ever seen in my life. I was like everybody else, I was just like, oh god, dude. I was like, oh my god, that is awful. That looks like something out of a. That looks like He got punched in the face by Jason. So, and there it is right there. It's like kadoom. Oh my god, it was so harsh.
Hey, Stephen J. Reviews. How you doing?
Oh, I'm not getting there. Oh, there he is. Good day, guys. Hey, what's up, guys? Steve J. Appreciate you stopping by, man. But here's the thing that I can't believe. This dude finished the fight like that.
How can you even see?
Dude, if that happened to me, okay, if this happens to me, I'm like, I'm going home. Somebody, I quit. I tap. Somebody take me to the hospital right now. This dude got his face caved in. This is how tough Mike Perry is. He finished the fight, and he almost won. It was a split decision. I'm like, this is the kind of thing that makes me a fan of MMA. I watch this and I'm like, this dude is too tough for human beings. Nobody should be that tough. Like, this is him after surgery. He's like, yeah, screw you. he's, he's like, yeah, he's talking to Luca. He's like, still can't knock me out. I'm like, oh my god, man. I don't like seeing fighters get injured like this, but when I see them go to war like that and they just keep coming, man, you gotta give the guy. This dude just like there was a couple of other fighters that were tweeting after the fight. It was like Mike Perry deserves a raise. It's just like, I mean, holy crap, man. I could not believe this thing. It was so amazing. Like I said, there were a couple other good fights on that card. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about anything but this. But anyway, yeah, I had to talk about this. I was like, my God, man, that fight was insane. It was a good fight too, man. Like I said, they were teeing off on each other. They were both bloody before that even happened. And Perry was landing a lot of shots, man. But yeah, oh, dude, man, you're not kidding, man. Stevie J says I'm with you. I'd be out of there, dude. I would be on the ground crying like a little girl with a skin knee. That would be no. It'd be no. If I could even make a noise, it'd be more like lobster bisque, and I'm just become completely unconscious, with a freaking brain injury. But oh my god. Anyway, okay, so moving on from that, Tom, you went and saw a movie this week.
As I did last night when I saw the scary stories that tell in the dark.
Bring up some pictures here. Yeah, and what'd you think? And what'd you think of it?
It was good, not great. It's definitely made for its target audience, which I guess is, mid-teens. So it's not like super scary, gory.
Yeah, it's just creepy.
It was creepy, kind of good psychological horror sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the scarecrow dude. Yeah, except for in the movie he has like hockey gloves on.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that was one of the Jim and I both loved these books, man. I read these when I was younger. This is like, can't hear him, dude. You can't hear me or you can't hear Tom. What the heck? Hang on a minute, Tom.
Okay. Well, I mean, you have been getting quiet again, so you're kind of in and out. Oh, can't hear me?
Yeah, he says he can't hear you. Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear him now? Say something, Tom.
Something, Tom. Is this doing any better? Getting a little closer into the mic. Don't want to get too close, but yeah, the scary story, stories that tell in the dark, whatever. Yeah, it was good. The acting was pretty good in it. Most of the effects were pretty good. Like I was telling Rob earlier, all of the stories are, what scared that particular person, like this scarecrow, when it came and got the one kid. That kid was terrified of the scarecrow. Always had been since he was little. One of the other things, well, two of the other things were from, the stories that that they heard as kids. That their dads would tell them were, different scary stories. They were the monsters from these scary stories from when they were a kid. And the other one, the big white lady thing, though, was the only one that didn't have an explanation. But that, I guess, in a way, made it a little creepier, because you had no idea why she was there, and the interaction with that kid. But yeah, yeah, all in all, like I said, I enjoyed it. Um, very well acted, fairly well written. Uh, CGI and the real effects also were all fairly decent. So definitely worth a watch. You
Okay.
still there, Rob?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I'm just letting you talk, man. I was just
Okay.
I wanted to check and see if that helped out the volume any,
Um,
because I'm trying to turn you up. You might want to on the microphone. Might want to turn the volume up as much as you can. But yeah, that was one of the things I thought was really cool about the movie is like this is art. This is art from the book, and then this is the stills from the movie.
I say, how do I sound now? Better.
Well, you sound okay to me. It's just they're saying that you're coming in light. So
Okay, I'll just get closer to the mic then. So yeah, that's from the movie. That was yeah, he's pretty creepy.
but
Well, that's the thing is this takes place in 1968. I was
okay.
wondering where the hell you get a scarecrow face that looks like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So
But then there's this is like another illustration. This is the pale lady from the books, and then here she is in the movie. This is a kind of a bad picture, but like they like Guillermo del Toro. This is a Guillermo del Toro movie. That's another reason why I want to see it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that sketch there artwork. Yeah, that's the way she looks in the movie. Yep.
yeah, and that was one of the things I was like that's really cool. Like even though I do understand that this is for younger kids, like 14,
Yeah,
15, something like that.
and that's she was one of the creepier ones because she has that kind of is she smiling kind of look to her,
Yeah, she's weird.
and then the other monster guy could come apart, kind of like his legs, arms, torso, head can all disassemble.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, and the thing was is like it's the way I always described it is it was like Goosebumps for people who wanted less cheese and more creepy.
for a slightly older crowd.
Yeah, for a slightly older crowd. But no, and it's it's a Del Toro movie, so I always like to support Del Toro.
Yeah,
So I'll definitely have to go check that out. But yeah, I just thought that the art direction was fantastic because like I was like this is like right out of the freaking book.
yeah, because that and like some of the sets and the house that it well not takes place in, but it's in the background there in the scarecrow picture. Um, the premise was cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to give anything away about that, but yeah, the premise, you know, yeah, it's a supernatural horror story, but sometimes people are like, ah, it's supernatural. We can do what we want, but it's grounded supernatural. It follows its own rules,
Yeah.
like that the one movie uh, about the dark, the girl that lived in the dark, and
Um I'm not
anyways, yeah, that one it followed its own rules. The creature couldn't exist in the light,
I gotcha.
so yeah, they didn't like, oh well, here's our supernatural thing and here's how it works, but who cares? We're just gonna do other stuff. It followed its own rules that it set up, so that's always good.
That's cool. Yeah, so I'm definitely interested in seeing it. So yeah, scary stories to tell in the dark. And I would definitely say that if you've got like someone in your family, if you got kids who are 14, 15 years old and you're okay with them reading this kind of stuff, definitely get them, man, because they were cool. I remember I loved them. But okay, so moving on. So we're gonna do, or I'm gonna do, a comic book review. Usually, I used to do one of these at the end of every show. I kind of stopped doing it. I want to get back to doing that because my name's Comic Book Bob. So who'd have thunk it? Um, but the book I'm gonna do today is Alternas. Yeah, dude, they were that was the way I really liked about them though. Abe was they were creepy. Like the artwork was like this is literally artwork out of the books. This is all artwork out of the friggin' books, and they were really cool. And there was some stuff that's even creepier than this. And being an art guy and a guy who's really into horror, these were really cool to me. I liked these. So, and that
Creepy is a very good way to describe the whole movie. I mean, there are things in it that are. I mean, even when you know what's going to happen, you're still like, oh, ick.
yeah.
It's
That
fucking creepy.
atmosphere makes horror films. I've always said that, and I will stick by that from now to the end of time. But okay, so the book I'm doing is called Exilium. This is the Indiegogo page for it that where they got their crowdfunding for it. The book was then released through Alterna Comics, and it's a let me see. I mean, what's the best way to describe this series? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up a slideshow so you guys can see some of the artwork. Um, I guess the best way to describe it, well, let me just go back. Let me back up for a second. It's a 6-issue miniseries. It's written by Ben Slavic and drawn by Salo Farias. I'm sure I butchered the crap out of their names. And distributed by Peter Sameti's Alterna. And I'm going to put a slideshow up here so you guys can see some of the artwork from the book. And basically, is that slideshow playing?
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's basically a love letter to those old sci-fi series from the 70s and 80s like Battlestar Galactica and Space 1999, Star Trek, but blended with some more modern science fiction like Halo and District 9. And
I can see that.
yeah, and so the book is it's set on Earth in a distant future where humans and this race of alien refugees, whose name escapes me right now, they basically cohabit the Earth. Unfortunately, the threat that the aliens were trying to escape from follows them to Earth. So inadvertently, they bring the enemy to Earth. They bring them to us. This results in a war that goes on for years, actually decades. And while the humans and aliens learn to live together and fight together against this new invading alien threat. The main characters are Nia. She's a young officer in the Resistance Army. Her second is a guy named Lieutenant Ken. He's a resistance fighter. And an alien, one of the alien refugees named Taru, which is pronounced Taru, who's an alien refugee who was actually born and raised here on Earth. So he knows about his people's struggles because his mother told him about them, but he himself doesn't really remember them. He's lived his whole life here on Earth, so he acts like a human. Issue 1 kind of sets the stage for the story, and it creates the world that the characters live in. And you get and the way you get the backstory is through a series of flashbacks that show like the arrival of the aliens, the issues that they face trying to integrate into the human population, and how grave the circumstances the Earth currently faces are, as they're basically on the losing end of their fight with these invaders. Basically, they're losing the war. This leads to Earth basically taking one last desperate shot to save their race by attempting to contact an ancient alien empire known as the Exilium. And shenanigans ensue. Like I said, Exilium. I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to give anything away, and it's really easy to give away plot elements from the book because some really interesting story things start taking place really fast. Like I said, it's only a 6-issue series. But like I said, it's kind of a love letter to the old school fans of science fiction. There's a lot of reference to classic sci-fi in just the feel of it and the design of it. But there's even a few direct references to stuff like there's an exchange between Ken and Saru that involves Independence Day and Spaceballs, and and it just has that kind of feel to it. It has that, ragtag band of humans traveling through space. Like the Battlestar Galactica tagline. That kind of feel is in this book, and that it was really cool. I really liked it. The art is really good, and the story and the writing are pretty solid. Uh, the only issue I would say is the way that they introduce some characters can be a bit jarring because they're kind of like, "Oh, hello, Commander so and so. It's what are you doing here, sir?" And so they could have done it a little more organically, instead of like and this is Officer Blah. He's the commander of this, and
There you are.
and there you go. So there's a little bit of that, and that's something I've actually found in a lot of crowdfunded books, is because they are making it themselves. They are doing everything themselves. They don't have a company like Marvel or DC behind them. They have a tendency to try to cut corners as much as possible without compromising their book or their story. And it's understandable because you only got so much money.
Yeah. Well, plus you also have the problem of if you're telling a story and you know the story, you can either leave stuff out or gloss over things or pay way too much attention on a particular aspect that you think is important, and then leave other stuff out that like say if you had an editor that could be like, who is this guy?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, overall, I mean, it's not as bad as maybe it sounds like I'm making it, but like
Well,
I
it sounds
said,
like you like it, so
yeah, I liked it. Like I said, it's just that some of the characters just sort of like, and they're just there. So,
which happens in life.
yeah,
It's not necessarily good storytelling. But it
yeah.
happens. I mean,
But overall, Exilium was a really good series, and I'm actually looking forward to what the creators offer in the future. I could see them doing a prequel series to this, because I mean, I guess they could do a sequel to it, but it's kind of
done.
it's kind of done. Yeah, like they would have to basically create a whole new story right from the beginning, if they were to do a sequel to it. But I could easily see them doing a prequel to this, like showing the arrival of the aliens in the past, them sharing their technology, and then realizing, oh crap, we brought the monster with us,
Mm-hmm.
and all the drama and things that come out of that. Um, and as well as there are some other storylines that are introduced in the book that they could go into later. So, a little bit of a spoiler there, but that could lead to other stories going forward. But overall, like I said, I thought it was a really good series. I love the fact that even though, and here's the thing, the pages that you're seeing here, that's newsprint. All alternative books are printed on newsprint, old school newsprint.
Really?
Yeah. So, and one of the big things, the reason why, because a lot of people have asked big companies like Marvel and DC, why don't you guys go back to newsprint for some of your books to reduce the cost? That way you don't have to pay $5 a pop for a freaking comic book. And they said that their claim is that modern print techniques don't work with newsprint. Well, this kind of proves that wrong.
There you go.
Now, the only thing I will say is that you don't quite get those vibrant colors out of it.
Yeah.
Like because the pages, they're not glossy, so you don't get that really high intensity vibrant colors. But the print is very clear. The line, as you can see here, the line work
It's good. Yeah,
is
very,
is
very
good. One of these pictures I think is that one, the one that's on the screen right now with the mech thing firing. That one I think is from the digital, so the colors are a little more vibrant than they are actually on the page. But they're not that much different, actually. So that excuse is complete BS. And that's one of the cool things about alternative books is that, like, if you've got it's also kind of going with the manga mindset, where if your book is black and white, you don't need high glossy paper.
Yeah.
And that keeps the cost down. And that, like I said, this book was $1.50. Okay, and this was a full size. I think this thing was 36 pages, so it was bigger than a normal comic. The final issue was over 50 pages, and that was only 250. So
Nice.
yeah, I mean it's a what Peter Simeni is doing is a really smart idea. It's like if you don't have to have all those bells and whistles, then don't do it. Comic fans will still buy them.
Yeah, if you got a good story, good artwork.
Yeah, but
There you go.
yeah, like I said, this book is really cool. There's another book that I'm going to look into. It's what's it called? It's called Scrimshaw. That's another alternate book that I think I'm going to look into. But yeah, I like this series. I thought it was cool. It's you can't beat the price,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, I give it a rating of like an 8 out of 10. You know, I mean, like I said, there were a few minor issues, but it was a good book. I enjoyed it.
Still 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
Pretty damn good.
but yeah, good on
Yeah,
all.
this week
Good.
I'm going to need your help on this, Rob, because it's a book you like from Antarctic Press. Punchline. That's it. I just remember the name.
Oh, Matthew Weldon's book,
Yeah, I finally got the first graphic novel. Read that. That's a good story.
dude. That's a really
I
good book.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Um, so yeah, the things that you said that were good about it, I completely agree with you. Uh, the
Yeah.
artwork is the artwork is really good. Definitely good. I like the artwork. The story is interesting.
Yep.
I definitely like the take that they're putting on things there. Um, Especially the older superhero that is like mentoring.
Oh yeah, I love that character, dude.
Yeah, a little twisted, but okay.
That's the thing I like about her though, man. It's just like it's like she's supposed to be the hero, but man, she just comes out of left field with some really rough stuff.
Yeah, it's like yeah, sometimes you just gotta kill a guy.
Yeah, it's and yeah, if you guys, yeah, and everybody that's listening and everybody that watches this afterwards, if you haven't picked up Matthew Weldon's book Punchline, you got to pick that book up. That book is friggin' awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I was very very pleased with it,
yeah,
and I hope he keeps it up.
if you've ever watched Drawn and Quartered, you know that Matthew Weldon is a mainstay on there. Dude's art is fantastic. He's one of my favorite artists. He's one of my favorite new artists. Period. He's right up. He's right up there with Kyung Lee and Kanan White, like two people that just came on my radar recently. So yeah, we'll definitely have to do a review of that because I've got all the issues up to, I think they're up to issue 8 now, so I've got all of them.
Okay,
And
so you're probably a little beyond where I was because I think the graphic novel goes up to 6.
yeah, because that kind of ends the first story arc.
Yeah,
But
yeah, where she's just it seems like she hasn't finished her training,
oh no,
and
no,
just some of the things that she had to, like the whole thing that she had to do with the bows. I
yeah,
don't know if you remember that, but I was like that's cool.
yeah. The other thing too is I need to ask Matthew Weldon this, but one of the characters that's in the last issue, issue 8, I think she was a character in a book that he did a long time
Previously.
ago that he did previously. I gotta double check for that because when we do a review of that, I think that'd be a cool little tidbit to verify if that's true. But yeah, definitely check out Punchline. I love that book. Um, but okay, but anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. That's our show for this week. Join us next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more news and discussion, and more comic book reviews, and on this nerd world that we all love, man. Follow us on YouTube, Twitch, and D Live, whichever platform you guys choose. And again, please hit those like and subscribe button. Share this out on your social media, and more importantly, leave a comment below in the video once you're able to. All the feedback that we get from you guys, that's what helps us figure out what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, how to make this channel better, and to be more entertaining and fun for you guys. Um, and don't forget also, I don't know if it's available to us yet. I think you have to get to a certain level of subs before you can do that. But once we get to where we have the notification bell, please hit that so you'll be aware of any new content we post to the channel. But yeah, until next time, thanks for joining us. You guys be safe. Comic Book Bob,
I'm Tom,
and
and we'll see ya.
we'll see you. Take care, guys.